My name is Emma, and I'm 20 years old. I was born in a small seaside town where the salty breeze carries. The scent of adventure and the sunsets paint the sky in fiery shades of orange and pink. Growing up here, life was simple yet magical in its own way. I spent my childhood running barefoot along the shoreline, climbing trees with scraped knees and losing myself in the rhythm of the waves. But this story isn't about my childhood, it's about the day my life changed forever. It's about my first date with Liam, the boy who was my best friend, my secret crush, and unbeknownst to me at the time, the love of my life. I woke up that morning with a strange mix of nerves and excitement, the sound of the waves crashing against the shore outside my window felt louder than usual, as if they were echoing the beat of my racing heart. Daisy, my golden retriever and my constant companion, wagged her tail enthusiastically as she watched me pace around my room. Daisy, today is the day, I whispered as if she could understand the enormity of what was happening. Liam, my best friend since childhood, had asked me on a date, a real date, not just another one of our casual hangouts, but an actual butterflies in the stomach kind of date. I chose my lavender sundress, the one that always made me feel like I was walking through a field of flowers, and paired it with my favorite sandals. As I brushed my hair, I couldn't help but replay the moment Liam had asked me out. His voice had been shy, almost hesitant, but his eyes held a sincerity that left no room for doubt. Meet me at the old oak tree by the beach, he had said, his lips curving into that lopsided smile that always made my heart flutter. When I arrived at the oak tree, I saw Liam standing there, leaning casually against the trunk with a picnic basket in his hand. He looked different, somehow more grown up, yet still the same boy who used to chase me through the sand dunes and steal my last cookie. His eyes lit up when he saw me, and for a moment, we just stood there, smiling at each other like two kids with a shared secret. You look beautiful, Emma, he said, his voice soft but steady. I felt my cheeks heat up, and I quickly looked away, pretending to adjust the strap of my dress. Inside the picnic basket, Liam had packed sandwiches, fruit, and my favorite chocolate chip cookies, but the real surprise was the small painting kit he had included. I know how much you love to paint, he said, his voice tinged with a hint of nervousness. My heart swelled at the thoughtfulness of the gesture. We spread out a blanket under the oak tree and spent the next hour eating, laughing, and reminiscing about our childhood adventures. Every time our hands accidentally brushed, I felt a spark that left me wondering if he felt it too. After lunch, Liam stood up and held out his hand. Come with me, he said, his eyes twinkling with mischief. We walked hand in hand along the beach, the golden sand warm beneath our feet. The waves lapped gently at the shore, and the wind played with my hair as we made our way to a hidden trail I hadn't noticed before. Where are we going? I asked, but he just smiled and said, you'll see. The trail led us to a cliff over looking the ocean where the view took my breath away. I thought you might like to paint the sunset, he said, rubbing the back of his neck nervously. I was speechless. No one had ever done anything like this for me before. As I picked up the paintbrush, Liam sat down nearby and pulled out his guitar. He began to strum a soft melody, his voice carrying on the breeze as he sang one of my favorite songs. It was a moment I wished I could freeze in time. The colors of the sunset blending with the sound of Liam's voice, the warmth of his presence wrapping around me like a blanket. For the first time, I felt like I was exactly where I was meant to be. When the last rays of sunlight disappeared below the horizon, Liam surprised me again. He led me to a small clearing nearby where he had strung up fairy lights and set up a cozy dinner under the stars. The table was simple but perfect, with 2 plates of spaghetti and a little box of cupcakes for dessert. We talked and laughed as we ate, sharing stories and dreams that we hadn't shared before. Liam told me about his plans to start a music career, and I confessed my dream of opening an art gallery someday. As the night grew quieter, Liam's expression turned serious. Emma, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. There is something I need to tell you. My heart tapped as I waited for him to continue. I've loved you for so long, he admitted, his eyes searching mine. I was just too afraid to say it. Tears welled up in my eyes as I reached for his hand. I've loved you too, Liam, I said, my voice trembling with emotion. Always. Under the glow of the fairy lights, Liam leaned in and kissed me. It was soft and gentle, yet it carried the weight of everything we had felt for each other over the years. At that moment, it felt like the world had stopped spinning, leaving just the 2 of us in our own little universe. Daisy, who had been following us at a distance, chose that exact moment to bound into the clearing, barking happily and wagging her tail. Liam and I burst into laughter, the perfect mix of romance and reality grounding us. As we walked back home, the stars twinkling above us, Liam carried my sandals and held my hand, his thumb gently brushing over my knuckles. When we reached my doorstep, he kissed my hand and smiled. This is just the beginning, Emma, he said softly. I watched him walk away, my heart so full it felt like it might burst. That night, I wrote everything down in my journal, wanting to remember every detail of the day that changed my life. Daisy curled up at my feet, her soft snores a comforting reminder of the love and joy that filled my world. As I drifted off to sleep, I knew one thing for certain: this was the start of something truly magical.